Hi all, and welcome back to chapter 31 of The Midnight Gang by David Walliams. The gang are still looking for balloons. So here we go. Chapter 31, The World's Oldest Child. Meanwhile, a few floors below, Team 3 was sweeping through the wards of the sleeping patients, on the lookout for balloons. Tom and the porter both found it hard work, crawling along the floor on their hands and knees, trying not to be seen. What made it even more difficult is that they both had dozens of balloons tied to them. It was way past midnight now, and all that could be heard was the snoring of patients, many of them old. The nurses were at the stations, but with nothing much for them to do in the middle of the night, some had dozed off, while others were reading books. Just as Tom and the porter were crawling out of the big swing doors at the end of the ward, they heard an old lady call after them, "Oh my, what a beautiful balloon! Are they for me?" "Shh!" Tom looked at the porter, who put his finger to his lips to signal to be as quiet as possible. "I said, are they for me? I do so love balloons." The voice was louder this time. It couldn't be ignored. There was a chance the nurses, who were napping at their station just a few paces away, would wake up if the old lady said another word. Tom looked up. It was an impossibly elderly woman was sitting up at her bed. Her face was wrinkled and her hair was white as snow. Unlike most of the other patients, she didn't have any cards or flowers by her bed. Her table was completely bare, aside from a jug of water and a plastic cup. "Come on," said Tom to the porter. The boy wanted to press on, but the porter looked torn. The man shook his head. "Mr. Tom, sir, we can't just ignore her." "I've never seen such beautiful balloons in all my days. I love them," said the old lady. "Who sent them to me? Was it father?" The lady looked in her 90s, maybe even older. It was as if the years had shrunk her like a piece of fruit left out in the sun. Tom realised it wasn't just the old lady's body that had weakened. Her mind must have done too. If she thought her father was still alive, it was impossible. Tom was completely lost as to what to say or do. As he rose to his feet, the balloons bouncing around him, he whispered to the porter, "Her father can't still be alive, surely?" "No, of course not," he whispered back to the porter. "Nellie here is 99, and there's no family left alive." "What shall we do about the balloons?" asked Tom. "Nellie thinks she's still a little girl, so we must play along. Let me." The porter turned to the old lady. "Yes, Nellie, your father sent this to you." He handed her, the old woman, the balloon that was closest to her. It was one he'd swiped several beds earlier. It was a little deflated and had "I love you, Grandad" written on it. Not that Nellie seemed to mind. Her face lit up as she held the string. "Oh, I love this one. It's absolutely beautiful," she cooed. "And you are beautiful for delivering it to me." Tom looked to the porter. The boy imagined the man had never been called beautiful before. "Did father have a message for me? When might he be picking me up?" As the porter was lost for words, Tom stepped in. "Soon, Nellie," the boy said. "You'll be seeing him very soon." "Really?" "Yes, really," replied Tom. "Oh, goody, goody." The old lady smiled, and the years melted away. It was as if she really was a little girl again. "We have to go," said Tom. "Are you delivering balloons to the other children like me in the hospital today?" she asked. "Yes," said Tom, his voice cracking with emotion. "That's exactly what we're doing." "Splendid," she replied. "You have so many. Be careful you don't take off." Ha ha ha. Tom and the porter shared a look. She was one step ahead of them. "We must go," said the porter. "Do come back and see me again soon," said the lady, her eyes marvelling at her new toy. The pair scurried out through the tall double doors. The clouds of balloons followed in their wake. And that's the end of chapter 31. Bye-bye.